Another little live stream for you guys talking about some biking stuff. I am Rick. Nice to meet you guys. I do ride in a club. I do ride all year long. Now, where I live, it's a little bit more south, so it doesn't get as snowy here. It gets icy and real wet certain times of year. And that can make it a little harder to drive and ride around just because the roads around here and the cars around here are not equipped for that kind of thing. Now, if it did snow a lot, I would probably invest in those snow tires for bikes, that has the screws in them. That way I can just swap them out. But around here, you'll notice as soon as the weather starts to drop, there's less people riding. And that's always going to be a thing. Now, me, I like to ride all year long. The one problem I have with riding is when it starts raining around here a lot, it gets really messy. Like, can't drive your tires in the mud kind of messy. So you have to kind of be careful with that kind of thing. Now, eventually I may have it set up to where I can put my bike somewhere to where I can go straight out into the road. But as for right now, it's kind of a challenge, especially if it rains a lot. So that's a deterrent. But the topic of the discussion today is, are you a real biker or are you a poser? And the reason I said that was for one, to make you click on it. So thanks for watching the video. But two, it really puts into perspective kind of like what a real biker is and what a real biker isn't. Now, I understand towards the west you have to deal with temperatures because 130 degrees outside sitting on your air-cooled bike, that can be a little rough sometimes. Hey, Real King Dan, how's it going? So that's something to put in perspective. And then up north, it gets really snowy. And I understand that you could probably bundle up and deal with the weather being cold, but it's the condition of the road. That's the main issue you run into. Now, hey Jason, how's it going? Sometimes I wish there was a way to easily swap your bike out for those kind of conditions, but it's really not. Hey Isaac, how's it going? So that's something to put in perspective when we were talking about this. But as far as it goes, I usually ride all year long. Even if it's really cold outside, I just put layers on and ride. Because if you can stand out there with a wind blowing on you, freezing to death, thanks Josh, then you should be able to ride on a bike. That's my perspective. Now, I understand some of you guys have bikes that don't have fairings, don't have windshields. Like you're riding a Road King or a Dyna or something like that, and you're just out there. You're just in it. You're just getting hit face first. Because I had a 1300 Honda for a long time before I ever put a windshield on it. And it's a little rough. When I sold that thing, that day it was really cold and windy. And I remember driving it to the guy because I was driving over water, which is even colder when the wind's blowing. And so that was a little harsh. And when I got to the guy, he was jumping up and down. He was so excited to get a bike. And that's the thing that I kind of live for, because I get that excited about bikes. Like, I really get excited about bikes. And I don't understand people that don't. I don't. Because I just love motorcycles. So that's something that, I'm just about. And when he told me his story of the hard things he'd been through, and I was able to give him a better bike than he had before, that's what it was about. Because he had like a 700cc and he was buying my 1300cc, which I really took care of. And I was like, man, you're going to enjoy this. Because that's something about those Hondas. They're not Harleys, but those Hondas crank up every time. Here you go. And you're off. And they're water cooled. They got fans. I mean, they're really, really good bikes. I know there's going to become a time where Harley is going to change over and be more like that. They don't want to now because of the sound. They don't want to lose that sound, and they know when they start adding water cooled, people's going to fuss about that. And they know that when they start adding the fans and stuff, they're going to fuss about that. Because if you look at the V-Rod, it was not well liked. If you look at bikes like the Breakout, it's not well liked. But it's always funny to me because when they get up into the racing bikes, they start doing stuff like that. So it's fine. But when you're in a regular Harley, oh, we don't like all that. Put it on my bike. I don't care. Put a radiator on there. I do not care. I want to be cool. But anyway, I've got a 103 right now, and so far it's been a really good motor. I've only had one or two issues with that bike, and it was aftermarket issues that somebody else had done. Not to the motor, to electrical stuff. So as far as that goes, it's still doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's just that somebody else did something, you know. And like, for example, I remember one time my radio antenna, I guess, shorted out inside, and it caught on fire. And I just unplugged the thing and threw it off there. Like, I don't need that antenna. I have Bluetooth. Why not need an antenna? My phone has an antenna. You know, why not need that? So that's took off. But that's neither here nor there. But you don't understand how frustrating it is, how scary it is when you're backing your bike out of the garage and all of a sudden it starts smoking from the fairing. That's not good. So I was like, whoop, up in the garage real fast, you know, and I figured out that's what it was, and I was like, okay, time to get rid of that. But so back to the topic: are you a real biker or are you a poser? Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the weather. Do you ride all year long, or do you just ride when it's nice outside? Do you stop riding when it's raining? Do you ride through the rain? I have rode through a thunderstorm, a flat-out thunder. And I don't wish that on anybody. But I had to do it. And I know if I stopped, I would just get stuck. So it was better for me just to ride through it and to go on home. I had a 10-minute ride and then another 5 or 6 minute ride. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this. So, of course, it turned into a longer ride when I figured out I could only do 60 miles an hour because I couldn't see 3 feet in front of me. Because I think that's before I even had a windshield on my back. And I had an open face helmet. So I had my glasses on, and I literally got my hand like this right here, blocking the rain from pelting my face. And then I'm throttling with the other hand. And people don't care. People are just like riding up on me, being aggressive and stuff like that. I was like, guys, I cannot see where I'm going. You know that I can't see where I'm going because you can't see where you're going. Slow down. But I've learned after being at a club that you don't stop. Like, you just put your gear on and keep riding. As long as nobody else stops. Like, if the president stops and everybody in the road captain stops and tells everybody to get out, okay. But if they say put your gear on, you got to put your gear on. And now I'm not talking about long rides. I'm talking about like an hour, you know. I'm not talking about like some of these guys that ride for 3 or 4 hours across state in the rain. Those guys are for real. Okay. You can call them stupid or you call them brave, but you can't call them quitters, is all I'm saying. And I hear a lot of stories from guys that are in 1% clubs and whatnot that have rode like that, and it's hardcore, dude. That is for real. So you gotta ask yourself, are you a real rider or are you a fake rider? Are you for real or are you a poser? Because these guys are for real. And like I said, I ride all year long. There may be 1 or 2 days where I'm like, do I really want to like spin tires and possibly crash, or do I just want to, you know, take the cage today? Because I really like riding. I really like riding my bike. Like, I really do. The more I don't ride, I'm just like, oh. Like, you almost just want to go outside and crank it up. Because you're just like, I want to ride that bike. It's just freeing, man. It's fun. It's just nice to have. It is. It's a whole different experience. And whatever bike you have, you know, you just have a fun experience riding it. It's a whole different deal. Like, you're open to the elements, you're there. And everybody should experience once or twice in their life. Like, I see people every day just dead inside, not living their life. You know what I mean? Go do what you want to do, man. Go ride that bike. But anyway, that's what I would do. Just go ride my motorcycle. But no matter the weather, no matter the time of year, I still kind of look at, can I do it or not? Now, there's been a couple times where my lady has said, hey, don't ride. And I'm like, why? And she's like, just don't do it. That's stupid. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not smart. And I really do what I want, but you do have to take your spouse's thought process into your process just a little bit. Like, you still do what you want. I'm still going to do what I want to do. But you have to sit there and go, are they right? You know, are they right? Am I just an a-hole? Or are they idiots? And they just don't realize how good I am at riding. So that's something to take in perspective too. But as far as it goes, I think a real rider to me is somebody that just loves to ride. If you're finding an excuse to ride, and regardless of the club you're in, the affiliation you're in, if you ride by yourself, if you just find an excuse to ride all the time, that's a real rider. And even if it's cold weather, wet weather, if you just put your gear on and ride anyway, that's a real rider to me. Somebody that only rides when it's sunny outside, to me, is not a real rider. Now, I'm sure you like to ride bikes, but you're more of a weekend rider. There's some guys that live, breathe, and sweat motorcycles. They just love them. Now, do I like working on them? No, I do not. I have done it, and I hate it. But that's neither here nor there. But I hope you guys like this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and tell me, are you a real rider or are you a poser? All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'm out. Bye.